So you were talking about you were answering the one question about, or you were talking about everything is consciousness and the like the rivers and the trees. Is that kind of like how you see things?
Yeah, but not me on the human level. On the human level, it sees things in subject object. So on the human level, like on the thinking level, it sees things like this is a this is a chair, and I'm speaking to Lewis or Harry or Khaleesi. So on that level, it's subject object. But beyond that, there is my essence and your essence. It's just that it sees everything because non-duality. It's just that the focus is on the person, and there can be this energetic shift where it's just known that who's experiencing now isn't that person. It's not even mental. It's got nothing to do with the mental layer. It's beyond the mental layer. But we communicate about it. But it's seeing that it's just a shift, and knowing yourself as everything rather than as a limitation. So before, I used to be bound to all my thoughts and ideas of myself, and I felt like that's who I was. And then that stops. But there is still a character, so there is this character that comes up and sees everything in subject object. When I used to speak, I feel like I wasn't so clear about making a difference between the character and the absolute. Like that it's not, I used to be very clear, I think, always that it's not the person that wakes up, but I used to like make them too close together. Like the person very much stays a person, and it needs to stay a person in order to navigate this world.
Right. Do you like bounce between the two different perceptions, kind of, or
It's not quite like that.
oh,
It sounds like a logical like statement, like that you bounce between one and the other. It's not quite like that.
no?
No.
I'm just trying to like understand, like for
Yeah.
for you, what your perception is that.
Well, for Lisa, the character, the perception is, I presume, it's not that the Lisa the character doesn't perceive, but the Lisa is perceived, but the Lisa character, the way she thinks, is in subject and object. So the way the Lisa character thinks is that I'm sitting on a sofa and I'm talking to Dennis. So that's one level of the experience. The Lisa character very much feels divided, but then there's something that's experiencing that character, and there's an energetic shift that can happen to that. And that which is experiencing this character doesn't start or doesn't stop and isn't a thing. And you can't even really say it's experiencing the character or it's experiencing things. In one way, it's not separate from all of that, so even that sounds divided. It's just that there is this layer to us. It's not even layer, there is this base of us that's not divided. Our essence isn't divided. It's never been divided. So even now when you're listening to me, energetically, the focus is on the interpretation, the character level. So the character is an interpreter and interprets the world and then tells stories about what it does. And in your world, there's an energy that's focused on that. But there's something that knows that person and knows that the sound of my voice, and it's silent and it's here and it's free. And it's expanded already. Even in your experience, it's just that energetically your focus is on the storyteller and the stories you're telling yourself.